We know that yawning is contagious, but I'm starting to wonder if sneezing is contagious. During the screening I went to, no joke, I had to sneeze at the same time as a character in the movie. I managed to hold it in because I didn't want to freak out the audience, making them think that I was psychologically linked with a fictional character, an imaginary fictional character by extension. If is written and directed by John Krasinski, who also plays the ill father of a young girl named Bee, who's living with her grandmother while her father is in the hospital. She meets a man named Calvin, played by Ryan Reynolds, and they find that they share this power to see imaginary friends, referred to as ifs, who were dreamt into existence by children. Since the ifs have been forgotten by their now grown-up kids, Bee and Calvin take it on themselves to help them find new kids who can adopt them. So the premise is basically the Cartoon Network show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Heck, one of the prominent ifs is named Blue, even though this Blue is purple because the kid who imagined him was colorblind. Shouldn't that mean, though, that he'd be black and white, unless what the kid imagined the color blue to be just happened to be purple? Whatever the case, the imaginary friends themselves are not very memorable. They don't say or do anything that funny, and none of their backstories are that interesting. To be fair, though, do kids often imagine friends as anything more than just someone to talk to? I guess their origin doesn't need that much thought put into it. I will say that they are visually interesting. I like that all the ifs have an aesthetic unique to each one, as if they were all designed by different animators. It's a good detail that's founded on how unique every child's imagination is. Honestly, though, the only character I liked in this was a human character. A young boy with osteogenesis imperfecta, whom Bee visits in the hospital every once in a while. He's not a major player in the story, but I just really liked his cheerful spirit. Bee is played by Kaylee Fleming, who quite unfortunately really can't seem to hit the mark. She continuously fluctuates from underacting to overacting. It doesn't help that she's clearly too old. Early in the movie, Bee states that she's 12, and I was like, yeah, no you're not. And lo and behold, Kaylee Fleming is 17. How hard could it have been to just change the character's age? In fact, I'd say that for this story, a character who's nearing adulthood would be more thematically appropriate. And for the greater amount of the movie, I was wondering what exactly the point of the character of Calvin was, other than just a reason to put Ryan Reynolds in the movie and cash in on his popularity. And it was actually because of how inconsequential his character seemed that I arrived at the conclusion of what was really going on with him. And indeed, the movie confirmed what I was thinking in an ending reveal, playing it up like, haha, you didn't see that coming, did ya? But no, I saw it coming a mile away. The movie does still bank on big names, though. It has a star-studded voice cast, including George Clooney, Bill Hader, Sam Rockwell, Blake Lively, Matt Damon, just to name a few. But the only ones who have a substantial vocal presence are Steve Carell and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The rest of them have, I think, no more than 5 lines each, some of them only 1. Why bring in so many big names just to give them practically nothing to do? The biggest problem with the movie is that it's a very meandering plot. The most it's got in terms of stakes is whether or not Bee's father will make it out of the hospital alive. In the meantime, while we wait on the result of that, it's just Bee and Calvin trying to match imaginary friends with humans, and sometimes maybe bring the ifs back to their now grown-up kid, so that even through the hardships of their lives, they can still take a little bit of that joyful childhood spirit with them. And that is nice and all, but it doesn't come with any urgency. The movie has no real endgame or overarching objective. I do like the musical score, though. It has kind of a playroom sound to it, but is still given a cinematic quality. More great work from Michael Giacchino. So the score and the visuals, I think, are worthy of praise, but the uneven acting, thin plot, and lack of urgency make it hard to recommend. Not that I'd recommend against it. In fact, these days, I feel almost an obligation to recommend anything that's legitimately family-friendly. And this movie pretty much is. The worst the content ever gets is some occurrences of taking the Lord's name in vain. That's entirely it. So this movie is fine for families. There's just better out there. On the factor facts, I can't imagine a higher score for If than a 44%. By the way, this review is late, but I did it because it was requested. I can never find the time to review every single movie I see, as much as I'd like to. So if there's anything playing in theaters that you'd like for me to prioritize reviewing, I do take requests. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.